Welcome back to No Agenda. We are continuing our planner series, and today we are going to try to put everything that we have done so far together and see how it works in a real planner. So let's look at how you would set up your planner. You might choose to put a whole year calendar at the beginning, but the first page you would actually use, the ones that we created together, would be your inbox page. You could put post-its here, which would allow you to pick up the post-it and move it whenever needed. Another thing you can do is, because you don't have your planner with you all the time, you could create an inbox for yourself on your cell phone, and then most people always have their cell phones with them these days. So hopefully that works out. The next page I have here is the someday maybe. So this is the list of things that we realize we do not have the time to do right away, but would like to do someday. This is the working checklist page. You might not need this eventually once you've gotten all your checklists in order, but while you're still trying to change checklists and you're still not happy with what you're tracking, you might want to continue keeping this page. This is a checklist for the GTD step 4, which is reflect, and we'll come back and talk about that soon. This is a daily trigger list that I got from Brandy Mitchell. She's one of those YouTubers who does make a very pretty planner, but it's very functional. I find that a lot of the other planners on YouTube are not functional. Then here I have my cleaning tasks checklist. They are divided by daily, weekly, monthly, yearly tasks, and I have shared all of these as templates on in the video, so you can always take a look at that. So then let's pretend that this says July and not January, and pretend you don't see this. I'm just reusing pages from previous years. So then I would put, for the month, I would put this monthly page that we had created, which has our daily checklist. And again, this is something that evolved for me over time. So maybe you want to see what things you actually want to track each month. So as you don't print out the whole year for yourself, print it each month. That way you can always type out or erase the ones that you don't want to track. This is where you would write your appointments if you like writing them, or like I said, most of us these days have our appointments on our cell phone, but I still like to write things so I don't forget them. Now what I do is right behind this page, I would actually double print, but because I was showing it to you, I didn't do that. I actually print out my monthly checklist page. So the page that has my monthly checklist, and this also is the page that had all the action items that I need to do this month in here. Right in front of that is the weekly checklist page. Now the way I print my weekly checklist is that I print the weekly checklist on one side, and I would print the same weekly checklist on the other side, and then when I need to use it, I would just simply turn the page this way, and this would again have a weekly checklist. So my monthly checklist stays the same, and each week I just have a new page for the weekly checklist, which also I print double-sided, but I make sure to print in a way that when I turn it around, this is the top, and I can see my week and the month together, so I know what all I'm supposed to accomplish. So that's pretty much the planner setup. Let's now look at what you're going to do each month, each week, and each day. How will you actually engage with this whole system? Every month, the first thing you will do is print out these pages, print out your weekly checklist. Like I said, you will be changing these things as time goes on. You will learn more about what makes sense for you and what doesn't. Every month, you should look into your calendar wherever you have it and add in any entries, any appointments that you've got to keep. Then you would look through your inbox, you would look through your someday maybe, look through your yearly checklist, and start populating your monthly action items, things that you want to take care of this month. I also have this little thing here which says main focus. So some months I want to just focus on maybe cleaning at home and with the kids. Maybe some months I want to focus on teaching them. Other months I want to relax and I don't want to spend so much time teaching, but maybe we just want to have fun reading a book. So I sort of sit down and think about what I really want to do that month. I also have a place here for birthdays or special days, so you can add that. You would look at your yearly checklist. So at the beginning of the month, I would go through this yearly checklist and figure out what action items need to be covered this month on my yearly checklist. This is a monthly cleaning task, so this happens every month, but you would pick from these for each week. Everything that we have talked about right now is also covered in the GTD Step 4 checklist. I have given that to you in your templates. Let's look at that. Get clear, which is you collect everything, all paper, do a mind sweep, and then get your into empty. You would then get current, which is reviewing your calendar entries, reviewing your next action list, which basically for us is the month page, reviewing your project list. I haven't talked about a project, but basically in GTD, a project is anything that has more than one step. And you could look at your yearly checklist, which I just showed you. The last step is to get creative, where you look at your someday maybe list and see if it's possible to do any of those things in this month. The GTD system suggests that you do this checklist every week. You will have to see, in the beginning I did this every week, and now I only do it once a month. So that's totally something you will have to decide. And this, as I'd said earlier, is a daily trigger list. I really loved it when I saw it, but I haven't really used it every day as such. I use my daily checklist here for everyday work. So that's what I use. So at the beginning of the week, I don't really have to go look at my someday maybe. I don't have to look at my inbox because I have already sort of decided what I'm going to do this whole month. So I have my weekly checklist here, and now I look through each point in my work, home, kids, self list and figure out if I want all of this finished in this month, what can I do this week? And then I will move some items to say this week. I suggest don't move more than 2 items at a time for 1 week. Just move 1 or 2 items. Once you're finished with these 2 items, you can always go back and get more things from your month. And if, let's say, you finish everything in that month, you can decide to stop. You don't have to do more stuff, or you can go back to your someday maybe, your inbox, to sort of find more things to do in that month. Another thing I would have to do every week is to look at my monthly checklist and see what things I can do out of this monthly checklist in here. So maybe I want to try to do the budget entries this week. Okay, so that's what I've done for every week. Let's now look at what you would do every day. So most days I don't make a brand new daily list for myself. All I do is I work on my everyday tracking, the things that I want to get done every day and I want to track them. So I look at this, and every day I do want to look at the whole week in summary. As I do something out of this, I just cancel it. I either, usually I write things down, so I would cut it out on a post-it too. You could possibly just remove the post-it so that this work has been done. So that's one way of managing my day. Keep in mind that this does not have my everyday things like teaching a lesson, coming home to cook, helping my kids with something. All of that is already assumed that I'm doing anyways. But some days I make a list for that day, and those are days when I have a lot of things to do. What I do is I use a scrap piece of paper, so I don't need a whole sheet for that. I like to keep this list in this side so that I can see the week and I can see my day today. I don't really worry about the month every day. That's something I've taken care of at the beginning of the week. And on this scrap, I either simply write down which of these things from my weekly checklist, which of these things from my action items for this week I can finish today. Another thing I do is as I write down some action, I would next to it write in brackets how much time I think it will take me. So if I think actually calling them and being on the phone and waiting for someone to answer might be 10 minutes, I just write for myself 20 minutes. It doesn't hurt me if it's less, but I've built in some buffer. Sometimes what I will also do is write a priority order of when I want to do things. So if I want to do the grade 11 test today, and I think that will take me 1.5 hours, I write down which is more important and which is less important for me. And that priority comes from both like where I am, how urgent this task is, how much time it takes, and how much energy I've got. And that priority will change by day to day. So that's my daily list. One thing that I did not show you is that sometimes for recurring tasks at work, I create special checklists like a unit plan checklist or setting up a lab checklist. And if I'm doing a lab this week, then I will just simply take out this list and I create like a lot of them on one page, so I'm not wasting paper. And I will just put that in my work section here. Let's say I'll just put a little bit of tape. I don't stick the whole of it because I still want to be able to access my other action items behind this. But then as I'm going through the week, I keep putting a check mark against what I have done already for that lab. The only purpose of doing this is that it saves time and you don't miss redundant steps or something really tiny which is important and you don't want to miss that step. So that's just an additional idea if you really are a checklist kind of person. That's what I would do every day. Look at my daily checklist here and sort of, if needed, create a list for that day, but usually just simply work from my weekly list and keep canceling things out. I hope that has made sense. Let's now relate this to the GTD system. So this here are the 5 steps of GTD. So step 1 is capture, which is you getting everything into your inbox. So for this, you use a trigger list. Step 2 is clarify and organize, which is you look at everything you have, you decide if this is something you can do. He calls it a next action, but we are deciding if we will do this month. Are we going to put this on a checklist? Is this something that I'm going to do someday maybe? And maybe you want to keep some reference items. Organize was again getting something on your calendar, getting into your next actions, getting on checklists. So it's very similar. We've already done our, we actually broke these 2 steps down into 3 steps. So step 2, 3, and 4 for us was clarify and organize. And reflect is when you do your daily review, you decide what you have to do today. Your weekly review, so every week you sit down and plan what are the action items you can take this week or even this month. And then last step is engage, where you, I think that to me goes with my daily checklist, where I actually decide what things I can do based on the location that I'm going to be at, how much time I've got, what kind of energy level I have. So that's my review of how I use the GTD system in my planner and how I've customized it to fit my own needs. I hope this was in some way useful to you if you're at all interested in making a paper planner, and I hope you try it out. If you do let me know. Love to hear from you. Take care. Bye.